A major gang sweep in Stockton tonight, 2 years in the making, and also nearly 24 people are behind bars, including a correctional officer.
Police here in Stockton are calling it Operation Mustang, and we went along for the ride during the takedown.
No, keep going, keep going.
More than 50 people were arrested in Stockton in an operation against the Norteños street gang.
Police say the 10 suspects are members of a gang that has been identified as the East Oak Street Norteños.
A months-long gang sweep in Stockton leads to more than 30 arrests. Police dubbed it Operation Kryptonite Takedown after
Stockton, California, located in the heart of the San Joaquin Valley, has a rich history as a bustling port city and agricultural hub. Established during the California Gold Rush in the mid-19th century, Stockton's deep water port became a critical gateway connecting the fertile Central Valley to global markets. Over the years, Stockton evolved into a vibrant community with diverse cultural influences and strong economic potential. However, the city has also faced significant challenges, including economic downturns, a 2012 municipal bankruptcy, and persistent issues with violent crime, particularly gang-related violence. Stockton's struggles with gang violence are not new. For decades, the city has been home to numerous gangs, including subsets of national groups such as the Crips, Bloods, and Norteños. These gangs have been involved in a range of illegal activities, from drug trafficking and firearms violations to violent crimes such as assault, robbery, and deletion. Gang rivalries and internal conflicts have contributed to cycles of violence, creating an atmosphere of fear in many Stockton neighborhoods. In response, law enforcement agencies have launched numerous operations to disrupt these gangs, reduce crime, and restore safety to the community.
This was serious criminal gang activity with a history of gun violence, impacting Stockton.
A major gang sweep in Stockton tonight, 2 years in the making, and also nearly 24 people are behind bars, including a correctional officer.
Investigators seized a number of weapons and drugs during a citywide raid yesterday.
23 people are behind bars tonight for possession of narcotics, conspiracy, theft, promoting gang activity. The list goes on, and the tally, more than 60 felony charges.
This was an outstanding operation to dismantle a very violent gang in Stockton.
For the last 2 years, Stockton Police Department has had its eye on the Northside Gangster Crips. Police Chief Eric Jones says he called on several agencies to join Operation Blue Storm, the effort to take down the gang.
That the Northside Gangster Crips were involved in at least 4 shooting incidents that would have otherwise have gone possibly unreported and unsolved.
The operation came to a head on Wednesday after a round of raids throughout the city.
And all I heard is boom. Police, police.
This man says officers rushed into his home early in the morning.
They said we're looking for guns and weapons.
Officers made 15 additional stops throughout the city. 12 people were arrested in Stockton, but the search didn't end there.
These subjects were then driving to Nevada and selling the narcotics at a much higher price than could be sold for in Stockton.
Nearly 200 miles away, investigators found more drugs and guns in Reno and arrested 11 more people. The investigation uncovered the alleged involvement of a San Joaquin County correctional officer, 31-year-old Ashley Johnson.
And because she was arrested for felony charges, her employment with the sheriff's office was terminated, and we were very disheartened at that activity.
Johnson faces various narcotics and conspiracy charges. Her connection to the gang is still under investigation.
The Northside Gangster Crips is a long-standing criminal street gang originating in Stockton, California. Affiliated with the Crips and known for wearing the color blue, the Northside Gangster Crips has maintained a significant presence in Stockton, with law enforcement documenting nearly 200 members over the years. The gang is widely recognized as one of the city's most violent groups, engaging in various criminal activities. The Northside Gangster Crips' violent history was well known to local authorities even before 2017. Stockton Police Chief Eric Jones highlighted the gang's involvement in numerous shootings. One notable incident occurred in 2007 when a shootout at a house party involving NSGC members resulted in 1 deletion and multiple injuries. Despite community programs aimed at reducing gang violence, the Northside Gangster Crips remained active, contributing significantly to Stockton's crime rates. In late 2015, law enforcement initiated Operation Blue Storm, a multi-agency investigation targeting the Northside Gangster Crips as part of Stockton's broader Operation Ceasefire strategy. This unified effort aimed to curb violence by focusing on the small group responsible for most of the city's gun crimes. When repeated warnings failed, authorities launched an 18-month investigation involving federal, state, and local agencies. The investigation revealed a drug and gun trafficking operation between Stockton and Reno, Nevada. Gang members transported drugs from Stockton to Reno for higher profits. They used the proceeds to purchase firearms in Nevada, where gun laws were less stringent, then smuggled the weapons back to Stockton. The operation combined surveillance, undercover buys, informants, and forensic analysis, connecting the Northside Gangster Crips to several previously unsolved shootings. On April 12, 2017, Operation Blue Storm culminated in coordinated raids in Stockton and Reno, leading to the indictment and arrest of 23 individuals, including the Northside Gangster Crips members and associates. The broad sweep dismantled the gang's network and leadership. The charges included conspiracy, drug trafficking, illegal weapons sales, participation in a criminal street gang, and various violent offenses. Among those arrested were high-ranking members like Rothel Satchel and Lamont Harper, who managed the gang's Reno operations. Authorities also apprehended a San Joaquin County correctional officer, Ashley Johnson, who allegedly collaborated with the gang, showcasing how the Northside Gangster Crips had infiltrated law enforcement. The wide-reaching indictments aimed to neutralize not only the shooters and gang leaders, but also their enablers. Collectively, the defendants faced over 60 felony counts, with some individuals tied to specific violent incidents. The legal strategy included leveraging evidence and potentially flipping lower-level suspects into cooperating witnesses to strengthen the cases against top leaders. The 2017 takedown significantly disrupted NSGC's operations, marking a critical step in Stockton's efforts to reduce gang violence and restore community safety. 13 members of the East Side Crips, a Stockton-based street gang, have been arrested following a months-long investigation led by the Stockton Police Department in collaboration with the California Department of Justice and the San Joaquin County District Attorney's Office. The investigation, which began in January, uncovered the gang's involvement in a range of serious criminal activities in Stockton, including deletion, attempted deletion, assault with a deadly weapon, illegal weapon trafficking, and human trafficking. Law enforcement officers executed search warrants at 10 different locations across Stockton. The operation resulted in the seizure of 8 firearms and various drugs. We want to send a clear message to those who choose to engage in violence in our community, said Stockton Police Chief Eric Jones.
An innocent gathering of friends down this quiet street in East Stockton on Friday, September 29, 2017, turned into a scene. 18-year-old Brianna Ballesteros was in a car waiting for her boyfriend when she was shot.
Era muy buena niña, la verdad.
She said, "My daughter was a very nice young woman, smart and caring. She had her whole life ahead of her."
The police department there say that they've arrested 10 gang members connected to several in that area. Police say the 10 suspects are members of a gang that has been identified as the East Oak Street Norteños. The crimes in this investigation date back all the way to August of 2017.
A 9-month investigation into the East Oak Street Nortenos, a new subset of the long-standing Norteño gang, resulted in the arrests of nearly a dozen individuals linked to multiple deletions, shootings, and other crimes in Stockton and San Joaquin County. During the course of the investigation, officers recovered weapons, narcotics, and evidence connecting the suspects to a series of violent incidents. The investigation, which began in August 2017, aimed to address rising violence in the region, including 3 unsolved deletions. The East Oak Street Nortenos, an offshoot of a gang with roots in Stockton since the 1970s, had been on law enforcement's radar for the past year and a half, according to Officer Joseph Silva of the Stockton Police Department. New data-driven tactics were pivotal in identifying and apprehending the suspects, contributing to the arrests of 10 alleged gang members on charges ranging from deletion to possession of weapons, drugs, and stolen property. Among the most significant cases solved during the investigation were 60-year-old Neftali Gonzalez Castaneda, 18-year-old Brianna Ballesteros, and 19-year-old Daniel Ibarra. Ballesteros, an honors student who had recently graduated from Cesar Chavez High School, met her demise while waiting in her car to pick up her boyfriend. Ibarra was shot while in the back seat of a truck near Wilson Way and Anderson Street, with the driver and another passenger critically wounded but surviving. The Stockton Police Department emphasized that these arrests demonstrate the effectiveness of targeted investigations and advanced data analytics in curbing gang violence. Officer Silva stated, "These arrests are a direct result of our commitment to keeping Stockton safe."
More than 50 people were arrested in Stockton in an operation against the Norteños street gang. The California Department of Justice says the operation got underway in August. They were targeting the gang's suspected criminal activities, including attempted robbery, controlled substances, and firearms.
In 2019, Stockton, California, became the focus of a large-scale law enforcement initiative known as Operation Red Ruins, targeting violent subsets of the Norteños street gang. The operation was launched in response to a spike in gang-related violence in Stockton, with incidents ranging from shootings and attempted deletions to armed robberies. One particularly alarming case involved a 10-year-old girl who was injured by stray gunfire while playing in her backyard. The operation resulted in the arrest of 50 individuals connected to the Norteño gang. Those apprehended faced an array of felony charges. During coordinated raids, law enforcement officers seized 42 firearms, including 8 assault weapons, and confiscated 25 pounds of illegal drugs. Chief Jones emphasized that the operation had disrupted the very foundations of the gang's criminal infrastructure, providing a sense of relief to a community long plagued by gang violence.
Based upon documented shootings and attempted which occurred in 2015, the agencies initiated a collaborative effort to A, identify those gang members and associates most likely to participate in or carry out the next violent crimes. B, dismantle and disrupt sources of income for the street gang, such as prostitution, human trafficking, credit card fraud, and drug trafficking. And C, dismantle and or disrupt the leadership and influential members belonging to the Westside Bloods and Taliban criminal street gangs.
Operation Bloodline was launched in response to a sharp rise in gang-related violence in Stockton, California. In 2015, the city witnessed a dramatic surge in violent crimes, including a troubling increase in deletions. The escalation of violence was primarily attributed to the activities of 2 notorious street gangs, the Westside Bloods and the Taliban Gang. These gangs were involved in a range of criminal activities, including illegal firearms trafficking, armed robberies, drug distribution, and violent assaults. A particularly shocking incident, a triple deletion, highlighted the urgent need for a robust law enforcement response. The violent rivalry between the Westside Bloods and the Taliban Gang had created an atmosphere of fear in Stockton's neighborhoods. These gangs were notorious for drive-by shootings, targeted assaults, and the illegal sale of firearms and narcotics. California Attorney General Kamala Harris emphasized the severity of the situation, stating that gang members had terrorized the Stockton community and escalated violence and the proliferation of illegal guns in the city.
A Stockton special education teacher and baseball coach was shot on Friday as he was waiting to have lunch with his fiancée. KCRA 3's Kay Reseed spoke with Mark Scott's fiancée and shares his family's fight for justice.
Hey, what happened?
Mark Scott was the boy next door with a magnetic smile.
He has like this infectious smile, like who is he? And I remember we met one day and we just hit it off.
A man, father, fiancé, and educator who Alyssa Henderson says was her soulmate.
Displayed on a table, assault weapons, handguns, and ghost guns. 58 firearms in all, representing deadly gun violence in what law enforcement dubbed Operation Hybrid Havoc Takedown.
While we cannot take away the grief and loss the Stockton community has felt as a result of these horrific crimes, we can bring to account the people who committed them.
90 arrests were made, 3 arrested for 2 separate as part of a multi-agency operation that began in January.
Yeah, well, out of this today, there were 2 arrests made and 2 homicides solved. One of those, Mark Scott, the Edison High School baseball coach who was in February. You might remember that story. This is something that the California Attorney General said doesn't erase the pain that the Stockton community has felt, not just from that loss, but from other violent crimes, but it does hold those responsible accountable.
Summer's here. Kids can play in the park. We're giving them back.
Stockton streets have fewer criminals on them today if you ask city, county, and state leaders.
California Department of Justice, Stockton Police Department, and San Joaquin County District Attorney's Office announced the results of Operation Hybrid Havoc Takedown, a months-long joint investigation aimed at dismantling criminal street gangs in Stockton, California. The operation began in January 2022, targeting gangs responsible for a series of violent crimes, including at least 2 deletions. The operation resulted in the arrest of 90 individuals and the seizure of a substantial amount of illegal items. Law enforcement confiscated 58 firearms, including 12 ghost guns and 10 assault weapons. Authorities also seized $23,000 in cash along with a variety of dues. Attorney General Rob Bonnet praised the collaborative efforts of the involved agencies, highlighting the significance of the operation in enhancing public safety. Among those arrested were Damian Cook, 18, and a 15-year-old boy for their roles in a gang-related shooting on January 23, 2022, in the 1800 block of Platte Road. Cook was also charged for involvement in another gang-related shooting on February 25, 2022, in the 400 block of East Flora Street. Additionally, 35-year-old Antonio Thomason was arrested for a deletion that occurred on February 11, 2022, in the 8000 block of North El Dorado Street. In another case, 30-year-old Antonio Hoskins and 38-year-old Roberta Howard were arrested for a deletion that took place on May 15, 2022, in the 8100 block of West Lane. The operation also led to the arrest of several individuals for conspiracy and firearms-related crimes. Butler was arrested for his role in a gang-related shooting on March 20, 2022, in the 100 block of Gateway Court, and for conspiracy to commit another gang-related shooting alongside Harris.
A months-long gang sweep in Stockton leads to more than 30 arrests. Police dubbed it Operation Kryptonite Takedown. After serving 55 search warrants, investigators arrested 34 suspected gang members. Charges range from assault to gun trafficking to EDD fraud.
On October 15, 2020, the Stockton Police Department announced the results of Operation Kryptonite, a collaborative effort to combat street gang activity in Stockton, California. The operation was launched in response to a significant increase in violent crime involving documented street gang members between 2018 and 2020. During the investigation, law enforcement officials executed 55 search warrants, resulting in 34 arrests for various criminal violations. Authorities recovered 38 firearms, seized approximately $40,000 in cash, and confiscated various drugs. Several significant arrests were made during Operation Kryptonite. Authorities found 21 firearms in their vehicle during the arrest. Months-long investigation into several feuding gangs in Stockton, California, led to the arrest of nearly a dozen individuals involved in violent crimes, including shootings, robberies, and gang-related activities. The Stockton Police Department, in collaboration with the San Joaquin County District Attorney's Office, announced the arrests following an extensive probe into multiple shootings between 2014 and 2018, including deletions in Stockton and San Joaquin County. According to police officials, the shootings were linked to ongoing conflicts between several Norteño-affiliated gangs that have been feuding since 2012. The gangs identified in the investigation include the Barrio Conway Norteños, the United Norteños, the Southside Stockton Norteños, and the 666 Gangsters. These groups have been responsible for numerous violent crimes, contributing to instability and fear within the community. Among those arrested were members of the United Norteños, including Manuel Solis, 23, Jorge Herrera Cruz, 25, a member of the Southside Stockton Norteños, and Carlos Valencia, 21, a General Norteño gang member. The trio was charged with multiple robberies at Stockton banks, where they assaulted bank patrons and stole cash. During the investigation, authorities also arrested Solis's mother, 44-year-old Mona Sandoval for being a felon in possession of a firearm and child endangerment. 2 loaded firearms were recovered from her home during a search warrant execution. Barrio Conway Norteño members Angel Lopez, 24, and Adonis Bustamante, 18, were charged with kidnapping, attempted deletion robbery, and gang enhancements related to a violent incident on October 5, 2018, near La Cresta in Carabrook Ways. During the incident, Lopez and Bustamante forced a 16-year-old male out of his car, stealing his money and cell phone. They then forced the victim into another vehicle, threatening to delete him. The teenager managed to escape by jumping from the moving car, at which point the suspects fired shots at him. Fortunately, the victim was not struck by the gunfire. Additional arrests included Barrio Conway Norteño gang member Hector Perez, 31, who was charged with trafficking and sales of controlled substances, trafficking and possession of firearms, acting as an accessory after the fact, and gang enhancements. Another Barrio Conway Norteño member, Daniel Farias, 22, faced charges for trafficking and sales of controlled substances, firearm violations, possession of a 50-round drum magazine, and gang enhancements. Felix Torres, 34, a member of the 666 Gangsters and a parolee, was arrested for being in possession of an assault rifle. Authorities also apprehended Freddy Rendon Arriaga, 19, a Flyboys associate and parolee, who was charged with being a felon in possession of a firearm and gang enhancements for his possession of 2 firearms and an illegal extended magazine. Law enforcement officials emphasized that the operation's success was due to coordinated efforts between local and county agencies and a commitment to holding violent offenders accountable.
Police here in Stockton are calling it Operation Mustang, and we went along for the ride during the takedown.
No, keep going, keep going.
It's a major gang crackdown, one arrest after another, mainly in the northeast Stockton area.
This is a very sophisticated as well as a very vicious gang.
The vicious street Stockton gang seen on this chart are the target of the state attorney general and California law enforcement.
We pretty much wiped out, as of today, the hierarchy of this gang.
More than 300 officers hit the streets today. 32 people were arrested.
The tentacles of this gang cancer certainly spreads throughout the city, the state, and as you can see, all the way across the nation.
Some of those states include North Carolina, Ohio, Philadelphia, and Rhode Island. Investigators say this gang was using FedEx, DHL, and UPS to transport the drugs. Sweep started at 7 o'clock this morning, and several houses that we pulled up to had bullet holes from previous drive-bys. Police hope this gang...
A criminal grand jury on Friday indicted 12 suspected members of the Loc Town Crips, a Stockton-based gang, on charges related to a nationwide drug trafficking ring and a series of violent crimes that disrupted otherwise quiet neighborhoods. The indictments follow a major law enforcement sweep that took place, which more than 30 alleged gang members were arrested. The Loc Town Crips, an ethnic Cambodian gang, are accused of shipping illegal drugs through commercial couriers to fellow gang members in states as far away as North Carolina. The San Joaquin County Supervising Deputy District Attorney, Ron Freitas, noted that this is the first time in recent memory that such a large group of suspected gang members has been indicted simultaneously by a San Joaquin County criminal grand jury. "I think these defendants now realize what they're facing," Freitas said. "I hope they do." The charges against them include participation in a criminal street gang, being felons in possession of firearms, drug sales, firing weapons, and transporting drugs. One significant outcome of the indictments is that the defendants will go directly to trial, bypassing the preliminary hearings where a judge would typically review evidence to decide if a trial is warranted. In total, the grand jury indicted 13 men. The recent law enforcement operations in Stockton, including Operation Red Ruins, Operation Bloodline, Operation Hybrid Havoc Takedown, and Operation Kryptonite, highlight the city's persistent efforts to address gang violence. These operations, often involving multi-agency collaboration between the Stockton Police Department, California Department of Justice, San Joaquin County District Attorney's Office, and federal authorities, have led to the arrest of hundreds of gang members and associates. They have also resulted in the seizure of numerous illegal firearms, large quantities of drugs, and substantial amounts of illicit cash. Each operation not only disrupted gang activities, but also sent a clear message to criminal organizations that Stockton's law enforcement remains vigilant. For example, Operation Bloodline targeted the Westside Bloods and the Taliban Gang, leading to 52 arrests and dismantling significant drug and weapons trafficking networks. Meanwhile, Operation Havoc Takedown resulted in 90 arrests and showcased the effectiveness of intelligence-driven policing in breaking up organized crime rings. These enforcement actions, coupled with the strategic use of data analytics and community engagement, have helped reduce violence in Stockton. However, the city acknowledges that the fight against gang violence is far from over. Ongoing investigations and additional arrests are expected as law enforcement continues to monitor and act against emerging threats. Looking forward, Stockton aims to enhance public safety through a balanced approach of enforcement and prevention. Community programs that offer education, job training, and youth mentorship are integral to providing alternatives to gang involvement. By addressing the root causes of crime, such as poverty, lack of opportunities, and social disconnection, Stockton hopes to create a safer and more resilient community. Ultimately, the combined efforts of law enforcement and community organizations represent a beacon of hope for Stockton. The city's story is not just about crime and enforcement, but also about resilience and recovery. Through sustained commitment to safety, equity, and opportunity, Stockton is striving to transform its neighborhoods into safe and thriving places for all residents.